I know, exactly.
Clock in order, please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Roll call, please.
Mayor Miller,
Here.
Councilmembers Updike, here, Franco, here, Robinson.
Here.
All right, we'll entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Do we have a name?
Make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Robinson, do we have a second?
A second.
Second by Councilmember Freckles, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. Do we have a motion? Motion by Councilmember Udvig, do we have a second?
I'll second here.
Second by Councilmember Robinson. Do we have any questions or discussion on
No,
this?
sir.
Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Meeting open to the public. Do we have anybody? Seeing none. Our public hearing is canceled.
Correct.
And so we'll move on to new business. City Hall facility hours update.
Mayor and Council, before you tonight is a follow-up from the work session. We discussed the changing of city hall hours Monday through Thursday, 7 to 4:30 PM and Friday, 7 to 11 AM. Since we talked about it, I guess it went with the work session and have you answer any questions.
Any questions, Sarah?
I can.
Crystal?
No question.
And Kevin?
I just want to thank everybody who participates in the hours, and I'm glad we're serving the public properly. Thank you very much.
So we'll entertain a motion to approve the updated city hall hours. Do we have a motion?
I like that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Freckles. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Udvig. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we will go to item B, City of St. Francis Outlaw Rain Garden Project.
Mayor and council, before this evening is the contract agreement for the first St. Francis Outlaw Rain Garden. It's a project that staff's been working on for the last couple of years, and it's finally come to fruition. All the stars aligned. This project will be the first, hopefully, of many in the city. The city has taken on the first one in order to show the residents that they're actually a lot less maintenance and they're quite easy to care for. There's been a few other locations that we've tried to get it going. This outlot that the city owns is actually perfect for it. So I think it's a good start. And we're looking forward to it. And it's taken a while, but it's taking off. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to see what this looks like when it's done. The funding is already in place for it. It's by the Natural Resource Improvement Grant, and it's done through the Anoka Conservation District. So there's no cost to the city. There are some, I would say maybe 5 or 6 hours a year maintenance on it. That would be about it. And maybe a little bit if we had a lot of rain, consecutive rains or something like that. So if there's any questions, I'd love to answer this evening.
Crystal?
My only question would be is that, I love the look of it and the more of these things we can do, the better. You've mentioned, us doing it first so then the residents can see. Are the residents eligible for these grants, the conservation grants as well?
Yes, they are. And so the grant is actually, Mayor and Council, the grant is actually done by the Anoka Conservation District. So all they need to do is find candidates and they'll do the work for the resident. They just need locations. So yes, that's your question.
Is this something that we've been, and I know you said we've been working on it for a while, is this something that we've been communicating out to residents like, hey, here is this opportunity. They will do the grant paperwork for you, they just need location.
We have, mayor and council, so we actually had a meeting in the county park trying to get residents to come out. We had 3, I think they're a little uneasy right now about the maintenance of it, and that's why I decided that we move forward with one for the city, and hopefully they'll see how much, you know, how little effort there is into having one. So yes, there's been community outreach. I think there's been a total of 4 or 5 different residents that are, I think are interested, but kind of wondering to see how it's gonna work.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't have a question, I'm excited to see this.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the initiative and the venturing in and getting this done. We were talking about the outlot that's by the city hall,
No, this is not 225th.
25th.
It's the, no, it'd be the south side here of town, just south, the east of Public Works.
Okay,
The outlot is, it can't be built on, and it's designed eventually possibly for, street.
okay.
It's a street easement. The reason why we decided to do it, this is only a 10-year program on this rain garden, and I didn't see the street going in the next 10.
Any of the practices that you guys are gonna participate here, can help in the drainage pond, the rain pond that we have currently at our city hall? Is there any vegetation, any will be carried over, any practices that can be experimented with? I know they had some water retention issues, and I understand now that we may have to, a fence will probably have to be erected around it, which is kind of a bummer, but as far as aesthetics go.
No, mayor and council, so they're actually, they're quite similar in the way they work. Essentially, a rain garden is a drainage basin. You need to slow the water down to get the solids out of it, and what's left is significantly cleaner water that's easily, it's not a problem going in the river at that point. So it's very similar, but from a much smaller standpoint. So,
After we get our certificate of occupancy and whatnot, will we be able to practice or implement some of that stuff over at this one? I mean, it'll be our.
so the drainage basin at the new State Hall Fire Station is an engineered basin, and unless, we could plant flowers around it, but we can't redesign what it was. designed for. Yeah. So,
Okay.
two completely different ways of cleaning stormwater.
All right, thank you, that's all I have.
The other question I have, is this related to or completely unrelated to anything to do with the MS4?
MS4, this is unrelated. This particular project is underneath the Upper Rum River, WMO. That's how we're working with the ACD here. So this is unrelated. Do we qualify that we're improving? Yes, it's part of the permit, but it's not directly financially part of it.
Right.
So, yeah.
I see it's a grant, so. With that, we'll entertain a motion to approve the grant agreement for the project installation, operation, and maintenance. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Robinson, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Udvig, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We'll move on to meeting open to the public again. Anybody change their mind? All right. Reports, fire department monthly report.
Mayor and council, for your review is the fire department's monthly report for the month of May. Pleased to report for the month of May, our response times were well within goal at 8 minutes and 34 seconds. And you can see our gentle decline in calls for service for the month of May over the last 4 years, from 65 back in 2021, down to 56 this most recent year in 2024. We did see a slight increase in our average number of firefighters attending calls, up to 5.4. And you can see our fire and EMS distribution there at the bottom as well. I am very pleased to report for the month of May, we flagged 0 ambulance over 20 response times. This is our first month in several, where we saw a pretty steady and consistent response time from our EMS partners. So we're encouraged by that side moving forward. And lastly, for the month, we did 4 initial fire inspections with 3 re-inspections for a total of 7 site visits. The numbers are down a little bit for previous years, but we had a really heavy May with Pioneer Days planning, bike rodeo, all of our summer events. So We did send some more of our time and resources to those planning days through the month. So, with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Questions, Sarah?
I do not have any questions. Great report. It's good to see that ambulance response time is coming down again. That's always concerning. Otherwise, just a great report. Thank your staff for doing a great job. We appreciate everything we do to keep us safe.
Crystal?
I have no questions. Like Sarah said, great report. Thank you guys for all that you do.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Yep, thank you, Mayor. Chief, thank you, very good report, appreciate the numbers, again, a couple questions for you. Any issues with the fire truck, the newest fire truck we have, any gremlins or bugs that, the last time we spoke?
Zero. The only, repair issue that we had was self-inflicted on that vehicle. We did have a small crash when we first moved over to the 4020 facility. But mechanically, operationally, it's been absolutely wonderful.
Good. That's good to hear. Any update on Bethel acceptance and how that's going, the union of two cities?
So, our, consultant has been going through and doing all of his one-on-one meetings and transitioned this month into group meetings. So we held a group meeting at Station 1 last week or 2 weeks ago, and it was at Station 2 last week. The feedback that he received was very positive and encouraging. Reported that staff is highly engaged in this process and provided some great feedback. So we continue to trend through that process of the data collection. I would hope that we will start to see some kind of more teeth with documentation here in the next month or so.
Okay. And then, usual question of the current climate with Melvin, how's it going? How's your, relationship there?
It's been good. We've been working through a lot of land use issues over there in the past couple of weeks. They did post their fire chief position. It did close on Friday. I believe they received 6 applications, give or take 1 or 2 in that mix. So they're beginning the process of vetting through those applications, and we'll set a timeline for interviews and however they want to go about the rest of the hiring process.
And have they invited you to partake in that as well?
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been lockstep with them through the entire process.
Any of internal people that applied for the position as well?
None from now.
Really? Outside perspective might be fresh, good. So,
Sometimes it helps.
yeah. Well, that's all I have. Thank you to, tell the guys and gals they're doing a great job. We appreciate what they do.
Thank you, sir.
The only question I have is with the ambulances, obviously is that something you see, a trend, obviously it's usually. We're seeing numbers that we don't like as far as waiting for too many ambulances over 20 minutes. Do you see them doing anything on their side of things to try to thwart that, or kind of just, it's hitting them?
Yes, I think, I guess first off, my hope is that this is not just a transitory change. However, the job market on EMS continues to struggle. We did meet with the medical director, the county chiefs, 3 weeks ago. And Dr. Dern at that time shared that they did graduate their largest class in several years of both paramedic and EMT candidates. So she was encouraged by that. Again, we're kind of in a unique position in the state because through this last legislative session, they're eliminating the emergency medical services regulatory board, and they're going to a commissioner appointment through the governor's office. Nobody knows what that's gonna look like, and that was one of the big discussions that we had with the medical director is what are you hearing from the physician side on how this potentially impacts, and she didn't have any answers at this time. Understanding it's fresh legislation and, right, we're still dealing with legislation that passed 2 years ago that isn't implemented today, so. There's a little bit of hesitancy on my part to see where this goes. Because certainly there are very real challenges both in the metro and in rural Minnesota, especially in the procurement and servicing of EMS. But we're also aware that the solution for the metro might not be the same solution for the rural part of this. We want to make sure that those decisions and the implications of those decisions don't impact one side or the other.
Right.
To a degree of more detriment. So, again, I hope it's not transitory in nature. My fear is we'll slowly start to see those response times creep back as staffing continues to be crisis. But we're definitely watching where this new EMS commissioner and what the system may look like into the future.
I got some comments about keeping myself. All right, well, yes, thank everybody for their service, obviously. Keep it up, and we'll move on to council member reports, and we'll start with Ken.
Attended the work session, we talked, we broached and tiptoed into the budget talk, which is always fun. It's not easy being us and trying to do the right thing for the right reasons. And we still have some, discussion to go. Other than that, again, I really enjoy the work session too, because I call it, we kind of spitball and we can come in casual clothes and we can talk. Willy-nilly, again, it's recorded for historical and, record purposes, but, they take much longer than the meetings we have here, and so we do work behind the scenes, or in front of the scenes for those who do come to the meetings, so. Other than that, I just want to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday, and remember, what we're celebrating, so be good out there.
Crystal?
Attended the work session, the budget conversation was interesting. You know, as was the water sewer, you know, that's a hard conversation. But other than that, that's the extent of my report.
You?
Same with you, and then the work session, and yes, I know the budget is the most critical time of the year. Just wait, it's even better. There's one meeting where I remember Steve saying, I'm done with numbers. We're just done, and it didn't do a long time, so, but yes, our work sessions, that's where you put in a lot of time. Actually spend a lot of time sorting through everything, so. And those are open to the public.
My report pretty much consists of the same thing, I attended the work sessions, the budget, obviously is always gonna be a challenge, we have some challenges ahead of us to see what we can do, we've had the benefit of the ARPA funding, over the last couple of years, and now we don't have that, so we're looking at trying to overcome those obstacles. There can be some discussions in the future, and we'll see where they end up. Also, obviously, we attended the work session tonight, all of us. And I've spoken to department heads about a number of different things over the week, the last couple of weeks. That is the extent of my report. So with that, well, just a note too, I guess the city offices are closed on Thursday, Independence Day, July 4th and 5th. Just for people's knowledge, and we do have a recycling event coming up July 20th. Try to get to that one. I don't know if I will, but I will try. And with that, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Councilmember Udvig, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Krecklo, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned at 6:17.